Welcome. In front of me I have the OPPO Reno 14FS, and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device and also its specifications. So, let's just get straight into this. You have two tabs to peel. There we go. So this is what could be considered as a budget device for a Reno phone, and I'm kind of gonna get at the end of this why I don't really consider this device to be very good as a budget device, and I'll give you all the reasoning for that. But anyway, taking it out and booting it up. While it's booting up, let's also see the cable. So here we have a Type A to Type C charging cable, and well, that's about it. Nothing else in the box. Now, while it's booting up, let's take a quick look at the device with the weird kind of back design. It almost looks like kind of like a flower. You can see this. It's interesting design, not something that I would rock. And holy hell, does it have like, it goes from like blue to almost silver looking color right here, and this goes from blue to gold looking, which you can kind of see if I maybe adjust the exposure on the camera a bit better, but pretty interesting kind of design. Anyway, now let's talk about the display. This is the thing that you're going to be looking at for the most part. And in terms of the display, we're looking at a 6.57-inch display with a 2372 by 1080 pixel resolution that runs up to 120 Hz refresh rate. It has a 397 pixels per inch and a typical brightness of 600 nits. Now, before I go any further with this, I want to point out that there is a non-FS version of this, which I actually have right here. It's, in terms of size, nearly identical, a bit heavier in terms of weight, and generally it's a improvement over what we have right here in almost every kind of department. So I do want to point out, but I don't recommend looking at either one of these devices. They both have their limitations, and they're both not the best kind of value for money offering. But continuing on into the back of the device, we will have our triple camera setup. So main sensor will be 50 megapixel f1.8 aperture lens. Then we get a 32 megapixel. No, wait, sorry. Looking at a Polish website which has an absolutely terrible layout. So we have a 58 megapixel and 2 megapixel. Holy hell. Well, that is a bit of a step down in terms of camera department here. Holy shit. Macro 2 megapixel, it's basically trash. I thought that we're past this, but apparently OPPO hasn't figured it out that adding sticker cameras that are just there to fool people isn't the best way to do it. But hey, I guess they didn't really learn that. So don't buy this shit just specifically for that reason. There isn't any manufacturer that puts a 2 megapixel macro right next to a 50 megapixel wide sensor is a piece of shit scammer, basically, as well as I can kind of tell you. So the reason for that is a 50 megapixel lens at 2x zoom will capture higher resolution, higher fidelity, sharper macro images than the dedicated macro lens, meaning that it's absolutely freaking useless for what it's supposed to be used for, defeating purpose of its even existence. So this thing right here, you can literally take a hammer, smash it out, and you won't ever really feel the need to use this in general. It serves genuinely no purpose. If this gets scratched, don't worry, you have better lenses to do the same task that this is supposed to do. Now at the front, we have a 32 megapixel wide sensor, and that's about it. Now where I'm looking at, it doesn't really tell us the refresh rates right here. Oh no, there it is. So in refresh rates, we're looking at 4K 30 frames out of with the back cameras, and 1080p up to 60, while the selfie gets you 1080p 30. That's a bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Now if we move over to the internals now, in this device we have a Snapdragon 6 Gen 1, which is number one, already like 3 or 4-year-old processor, and it's the one on a lower end. So apart from Snapdragon 6, you have also 7. Yeah, I think there are 7, and then you have 8 and 8 Elite. So yeah, this one is on the lower end. We also have a 6,000 mAh battery, typically because it's not necessarily super precise, but it should be somewhere around this kind of capacity. And we can charge this device, or the battery specifically, at 45 watts with the Super VOOC charger, so that's maximum. Now, apart from that, in terms of storage options, if I can actually find this, we are looking at 12 gigs of RAM and half a terabyte of storage. Though where I'm looking at, which is the official OPPO website, I'm not sure if this is the only variant, but that's the only one that they have listed right here. Also, the storage there is UFS 3.1, and RAM is LPDDR4X. So, with that in mind, this device costs just shy of $500 US. Let's just round it down to even lower, 400. It doesn't really matter. It's not the greatest value for your money. And I will mention that right now by talking about another device. Let's call it competition. But the competition is nothing. That's the brand of the phone. Specifically CMF Phone 2 Pro. It's a phone that costs half of what this one does, while offering you a faster processor, about the same kind of battery size, 33 watts charging, so a little bit slower. Where it just completely smashes this one is the camera department. We have dual 50 megapixel wide and telephoto lenses and 8 megapixel ultra wide, which allow you to do 4K 30 to 1080p up to 120 of slow motion, and then selfie will be a 16 megapixel that also does a 1080p 30 frames wide sensor. So that's in terms of camera, it's already better, and processor, it's better. Resolution is a step down, as it's going to be... Actually, no, never mind, it's not a step down, it's the same one. It's basically a 1080p resolution, AMOLED display. Where it actually even falls ahead is the pull rate. It has a 2160 Hz pull rate for the display. That refers to when you're pressing the screen, right? How fast and behind it is. So you can see kind of when I move my finger up and down abruptly, the display isn't going right with the finger. It has this kind of like finger goes, and then the display follows after like a split second. So the pull rate of this implies how quickly the display can keep up with your finger, how responsive it is. And this one runs at 2160 60 hertz, meaning that it's 20 times faster than the refresh rate. Now, also peak brightness is higher at 3000 nits, and honestly, I could continue glazing this device, but just that alone, the fact that it's cheaper and faster and has a better camera, should be already sufficient enough reason to discard this one. At half the price, getting something that is better is an insane bargain, and there is no reason to consider something like this when it costs like basically double the price. It's just kind of moronic choice here. Now, the only thing that I will say is maybe if CMF phone isn't available in your region, then that might be a bit of a bummer, but if it is, I highly recommend going with that one if the price is still, like I'm mentioning, at the $230 price range. If it is, it's literally the best phone for the price you can get. There is nothing better. While this is slower and costs nearly double the price, meaning that it automatically becomes irrelevant as it's being substituted by an older device that is still better and cheaper. So that's about it. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.